Back then, you saw thinness on only billboards, in magazine, and then probably you just close it and just walk your way. But today we have an invisible force multiplier. This is a design feature of the platforms, and it is actively accelerating the adolescent mental health crisis. As a nurse, I treat health not just as something that happens inside the hospital room, but as a product of our environment. And today, our environment is digital. Whether we like it or not, we are surrounded by algorithms. Everybody has a phone. Now, if you have been on social media at all this week, you must have seen the massive news breaking across the pop culture world. Whether they are talking about Rihanna losing her flair and her spark, or Ariana Grande with her new body image. Ariana Grande's team announced that she is taking a major step back from public life and public-facing visibility. According to them, this will happen once her Eternal Sunshine Tour, which is happening now, wraps up in London on September 1st. Her team also released a statement directly to People's Magazine saying she is taking a much-deserved break due to endless ongoing public scrutiny regarding her appearance. In addition, they also said that she has even pulled out of her upcoming West End theatre production. Now, just last night, she also talked to her fans directly.
So basically, the announcement that was made yesterday was not a reactive or impulsive.
She made it clear that this wasn't an impulsive, reactive decision, but an empowered boundary she planned a long time ago. But let's look at why the internet exploded right now. This announcement dropped just days after the release of her new album and the music video for her single, Petal. The very first time I saw that video, seriously, I was so uncomfortable with the bloody nature of it. Stay with me. In that video, she actually satirizes the entertainment industry. She plays an artist who is brutally told that she was unmarketable before she decided to kill all of them. That was bloody. But now, instead of the internet to focus on the act, they immediately hyper-focused on her body. People started pointing out her visible collarbones and speculating about her health, her frame. Now, before we dive into data, I want to do an absolute disclaimer here. I am a registered nurse, but I am not here to diagnose Ariana Grande because I'm not her nurse. And it is also not in my place to analyze Ariana Grande's medical status. So that being said, her representative also explicitly stated that she performs a highly physical athletic show successfully at a higher level, night after night. That's impressive to know. But as a public health advocate, I am deeply concerned about what this conversation represents. We really need to talk about the toxic culture of thinness. It's high time we did. How it affects our youth and where the responsibility actually lies. So because of this, I went into research to get some facts about this whole thing. Because when we talk about the toxic culture of thinness, we aren't just talking about celebrities at all. We are talking about a systemic public health issue. From a nursing point of view and psychiatric perspective sources that I got, adolescents do not view media with a clinical filter. No. They don't look at a highly stylized, professionally lit music video and think about, oh, maybe it's genetic, or maybe it's the wardrobe or custom angles. They absorb the image as absolute standard of beauty. Now, let's step away, from the celebrity gossip and look at what the actual data tells us about adolescents' body image today. The numbers are staggering and it's deeply concerning. Let's look at the first source that I have. According to ongoing public health data tracking adolescent behavior, roughly 50% of teenage girls and 30% of teenage boys admit to using unhealthy weight control behavior. We are talking about skipping meals, fasting, smoking cigarettes, and using unprescribed supplements just to control their weight. When media continuously mirrors extreme thinness, then these dangerous behaviors become normalized in a teenager's mind as the price of beauty. Now, another data, which is a clinical psychiatric research, shows that exposure to idealized or thin media images for as little as 30 minutes can significantly increase body dissatisfaction, weight anxiety, low self-esteem in young women. This is less time than most teenagers spend on scrolling on their feed before even getting out of bed in the morning. Now, another one says for adolescents who are genetically or psychologically vulnerable to eating disorders, exposure to extreme thinness in mainstream media acts as a direct environmental trigger. It warps their baseline of what a normal body looks like. As healthcare professionals, we can imagine a steep rise in pediatric hospitalization for severe body dysmorphia and eating disorders in this regard. But here is what makes this crisis different. Because when we talk about the heroin chic era of 1990s or early 2000s, that is different. Because back then, you saw thinness on only billboards, in magazines, and then probably you just close it and just walk your way. But today we have an invisible force multiplier, the social media algorithm. As a nurse looking at behavioral health, the algorithm is where this issue becomes truly toxic. These platforms are not neutral archives of content. They are engineered specifically for engagement. And what drives engagement? Outrage, comparison, shock, and insecurity. If a vulnerable 14 years old clicks on just one video analyzing Ariana Grande's bone or leaves one comment on a post debating her weight, the algorithm logs that data in. It doesn't care if they looked at that video with genuine concern or just morbid curiosity. It only cares that the teenager only stayed on that screen for 3 seconds longer than usual. That teen's entire feed is systematically altered. Their For You page becomes a non-stop loop of body checking videos, extreme diet tips, what I eat in a day, restrictions, and heavily filtered bodies. The algorithm builds a digital echo chamber. It completely strips away reality and replaces it with a distorted, hyper-focused obsession with thinness. The teenager is no longer just looking at a pop star they admire. They are being hunted by an automated system that profits and maximizes their deepest insecurities. And this creates a state of chronic psychological stress, keeping their cortisol levels high and constantly feeding their body dissatisfaction. This is a design feature of the platforms, and it is actively accelerating the adolescent mental health crisis. Many people are talking about it. Now, that brings me to a massive critical question that needs to be confronted. Ariana Grande has over 300 million followers on social media. She is one of the most visible human beings on the planet. Does that mean she is responsible for fixing this problem? Is she the cause of this problem? The short, clinical, and ethical answer is no. Ariana Grande does not owe anyone her existence. She is a singer and an artist. She is a human being navigating her own life, her own body, and her own struggles under a microscope that would break most of us. Having 300 million followers does not mean you sign away your right to have a body that changes or a body that naturally look a certain way. Many people are genuinely concerned. Now, let's look at what Ariana Grande, herself told the public in her brief 2023 statement.
I just also wanted to say, one, there are many different kinds of beautiful. There are many different ways to look healthy and beautiful. I know personally for me, the body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body. I was on a lot of antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly.
She reminded everyone that the version of her body the public used to praise as healthy was actually her unhealthiest phase, a time when she was on heavy antidepressants, drinking and eating poorly. She correctly pointed out that healthy looks different on everyone. It is entirely unfair to make Ariana Grande the scapegoat here for a teenager's body image issues. She is an entertainer, not a public school system. She is not a public health department, and she is certainly not a parent. This is where we have to talk about real-world accountability. Parents, we have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves questions. It is the fundamental responsibilities of parents to guide their children, guard their mental well-being, and teach them media literacy. As parents and educators, we need to do better because it is our job to sit down with these teenagers and have these difficult conversations. We need to teach them that whatever they see on screen is a highly manufactured product. We need to monitor their screen time, help them curate their feeds, and explicitly teach them to unfollow accounts that make them feel inadequate, whether Ariana Grande or not. Ariana Grande is responsible for her art. Parents are responsible for their children. Lastly, Ariana Grande's decision to step away from the public eye to protect her peace and establish boundaries against this relentless scrutiny is an incredible model of self-care, and we should seriously applaud her for it. It proves that no matter how famous or successful you are, your mental and physical peace must come first. If you are a fan of Ariana Grande watching her music videos today, or if you are someone struggling, when you look into the mirror, I want you to remember this clinical truth. That's if it makes sense to you. Your worth is not a trend. Human biology is not a fashion cycle that changes from curves to thinness every 5 years. Your body is an instrument that keeps you alive, not an ornament for public approval. Let's support artists for their talent, and let's take back control of our own mental health. Parents, look into your kids, curate their feed, log off when it gets heavy, and remember that real health is measured by your peace of mind, not your silhouette. And that's where I leave you guys to reflect on this video. Thank you for watching. Let's keep the conversation healthy, respectful, and safe for everyone on the comment section below. Stay well, and I will see you guys in my next video.